This week on Thomas Talk, I'm sick. Hello and welcome back to Thomas Talk. My voice sounds very nasally to me. I hope it doesn't sound too bad to you, but I guess I'll find out later. I again am your host Josh, and this week there was some big developments with the Thomas & Friends franchise. Season 20 went on the air. But before we get into that, I'm going to talk about something that's actually about 6 or 7 weeks old now, but lots of you apparently don't know about. And that is the spring DVD for Season 20, which is called Extraordinary Engines. Extraordinary Engines will feature 4 new characters who are going to be, of course, extraordinary, and will be all different types of engines. There will be some snowplow engines, I think, and propeller engines. There's going to be lots of fun little stuff there. These engines' names are Hugo, Frankie, Merlin, and Hurricane, and they will be on this DVD coming out in the spring. Now on to the main focus of today's episode, which is kind of a review of this week's episodes of Season 20. Now the week started off with an episode called Sydney Sings, written by Lee Pressman. Now, we haven't really seen a lot of focus on these minor characters since the 17th season, so it's really nice to see some more development come forward for Sydney, because we haven't really seen a lot of him since the Missing Christmas Decoration, so it was nice that they kind of picked him up again and gave him another episode here. The episode itself, I feel, is a very likable episode. It's not the strongest episode of the show. There are definitely some flaws to it, but, you know, it's a very nice episode to watch. It's not necessarily a moral-based episode, more so just kind of, here's a way to remember things if you're forgetful, which is something that a lot of kids probably would find useful. And the songs that Sydney sang were very catchy. I found them stuck in my head a lot lately. And overall, the episode is very enjoyable. I will watch it whenever I can. It's not one of those episodes I'll avoid, but it is a very good episode, although it's not my favorite. On the Tuesday, we got an episode called Toby's New Friend, written by Andrew Brenner, which is apparently only one of the 3 or 4 we're getting from him this season, although I guess it's kind of understandable based on all the work that he's done for the show lately, including The Great Race and The Adventure Begins and all this stuff. I guess he's just kind of taken a step back. So it'll be interesting to see what else he comes up with his very limited amount of episodes from a head writer this year. But let's right now focus on Toby's new friend. In this episode, Philip, the diesel box cab, tries to befriend Toby because he thinks that Toby is also a diesel box cab. Now, people have said, well, how could he think this? You know, steam emits from Toby's funnel. Well, Philip isn't the smartest engine, and you know what? Diesel fumes emit from Philip when he moves and stops and everything, so maybe he thinks that it's just something very similar. I don't know. It's a kids' TV show. Anyways, this episode was very enjoyable to me. It was a bit weaker than Sydney Sings to me, but it still was very enjoyable, and it is an episode that I will watch over and over and over again. It's got some really nice values to it. It's got a really nice moral that not all friends have to like the same things, which I very much agree with. And, you know, it was an interesting little moment, and Toby was very much in character. It was very, very nice. On the Wednesday, we got Henry Gets the Express, which many people have argued might be not only the best Thomas episode in CGI ever, but some of them have argued that it's pretty high up there on the best Thomas episode ever, and to be honest with you, I don't fully disagree with that. I think it was a very strong episode. I've sat down and I've tried to point out flaws with it, but I can't think of any flaws. It's a very strong episode for sure, written by Helen Farrell, who seems to write extremely strong episodes. This is definitely a favorite of mine, and it's just fantastic. On the Thursday, we got another episode from Lee Pressman, which was Diesel and the Ducklings. Now, that episode got me excited with the description because it was a complete new concept, and I was really curious to see what would happen with it. And it was definitely an interesting episode. It was a very enjoyable one. We got to see more of Ari and Bert, who we actually haven't heard speak since season 16, which was really nice that they got some more screen time there. And really, it was a very nice episode. And the last episode for the week was Bradford the Brake Fan, which was another effort by Lee Pressman. This episode, many people have said, is their favorite of the week. Henry Gets the Express is still mine. But it was a very entertaining episode, and, it definitely is probably my favorite after Henry Gets the Express. Really, really strong writing here. Bradford was an awesome character. I didn't mind his design at all. I thought it was awesome. Many people have said that it was lazy to just use an existing brake van model. Those people, of course, don't really know what it takes to make a 3D model, but it was very interesting, and it was an awesome episode. It was nice to see Bradford interacting with all these different characters and seeing what happens there. And it was overall a great episode. So there are my brief thoughts on season 20, week 1 of Thomas and Friends. Sorry that they weren't as in-depth as I was hoping. I'm sick, so my thoughts aren't as organized as I'd like them to be. Overall, I do think that we do have definitely not only some of the strongest episodes of the Brenner era, or not only some of the strongest episodes of the CGI series, I think we actually have a couple of the strongest episodes of Thomas ever produced sitting in this week. And if the rest of season 20 is anything like this week, I think we really have something to look forward to here. Anyways, that basically wraps up this week's episode of Thomas Talk. Stay tuned to future episodes. I'm going to be producing quite a few in the coming weeks. Now, the thing that I love about this show is that it's so versatile. It could really be anything. I could be doing whatever I want as long as I'm talking about something related to Thomas the Tank Engine. It's very open. So I've been thinking a lot lately, and I really want to keep this fun for me and fun for you, and I think I kind of have to change the format a little bit in order to do that. So over the coming weeks, you'll see me test out a few things, and eventually I'm going to completely overhaul this series and turn it into something different, where you still get the news and everything, but there's also some more fun added in there. So I'm going to be doing some tests in the coming week, so stay tuned for those, and your feedback, as always, is very appreciated, because I'm not only doing this for me. I do it for me because it's fun, but I do it mostly for you guys watching this show. So feedback would be appreciated, so I know what you're looking for and what you like before I completely overhaul this thing. Anyways, that is, again, it for this week's episode of Thomas Talk, and we will see you all next time.